This story takes place in 2008, and while you often talk about the past with a certain amount of nostalgia, this story unfortunately has none of that. It's September, Ramzan, and my family and I had just broken our fasts, settling into the post-iftari laziness on a quiet Saturday evening at flat 3C, 72 Family Suites, Gulshan-e-Jinnah. With its storybook name, Gulshan-e-Jinnah is a block of government flats in the sector of F5, Islamabad. Of course, for most people, Islamabad ends in F6, but F5 is the red zone of legend. Dharnas, D-Chowk, the National Assembly, the diplomatic enclave. With its Soviet-style uniformity and early 90s aesthetic, Gulshan-e-Jinnah, like the Islamabad of the time, was this sleepy little community tucked behind the Marriott Hotel, unassuming and undisturbed by its more illustrious neighbours. It has since fallen into disrepair and neglect, but having lived there for more than a decade, one often finds themselves reminiscing about those years and our lives there. I was in my room watching TV, with my family in the other, when we all heard this loud crash. At the time, the Evacuee Trust building right behind our flats was undergoing construction, and I assumed it was a sound of scaffolding falling. But immediately after this, there was this sound, this whoosh, the rush of the blast wave. It's odd, but to this very day I can't recall the sound of the explosion itself, or even hearing one, but I distinctly remember the sound the blast wave made as it rushed through our house, breaking every window and ripping screen doors off of their hinges. Within seconds, the lights went out. My family were in hysterics. I can still remember my sister crying and my father ordering us out of the house. In a panic, we all descended onto the courtyard, joined by our neighbours, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Was it another earthquake? We had lived through the 2005 earthquake, but that had none of the fury we had just experienced. Had the PTV headquarters been attacked? We got our answer when we saw flames behind our building. It was the Marriott. Some neighbours and I went to the roof to get a better look, and we were met by inferno. The explosion had hit a gas main, and the fire quickly engulfed the hotel. Of course, this fateful day was the 20th of September 2008, the day when a truck full of explosives drove up to the Marriott, right to its very entrance, and exploded, killing 50 people or so and bringing the war on terror to our very doorstep. Why the Marriott was targeted was subject to speculation and rumour. Apparently the CIA had booked out an entire floor, or it was their favourite place to eat. Whatever the reason, the very heart of Islamabad had been targeted. And while the news cycle naturally focused on the hotel and the victims, Gulshan-e-Jinnah went unnoticed. I don't think anyone slept that night, and we spent the morning picking up the literal pieces of our home.